Welcome to Developing Palates. This review recap is brought to you by J.C. Newman. Founded in 1895 by Julius Caesar Newman, J.C. Newman Cigar Company is the oldest family-owned premium cigar maker in America. J.C. Newman rolls its El Rolage, factory throwouts, and Trader Jack's cigars by hand-operated vintage cigar machines at its historic cigar factory in Tampa, Florida. It also hand-rolls its Brick House, Perla del Mar, El Baton, and Quorum cigars at the J.C. Newman Pinza Cigar Factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. J.C. Newman's Diamond Crown, Maximus, Julius Caesar, and Black Diamond cigars are handmade at Tabacalera A Fuente in the Dominican Republic. With its longtime partners, the Fuente family, the Newmans founded the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation, which supports low-income families in the Dominican Republic with education, healthcare, vocational training, and clean water. Learn more by visiting jcnewman.com. Hello, everyone. Aaron Loomis here in the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is Seth Geis and John McTavish. How you guys doing this evening?
Not too bad, man.
Wish I had a cigar going, but we'll rectify that later.
So today we are talking about the San Pedro de Macori Brazil Robusto. Not an easy thing to say, but I thought I had it. 5 1/8 by 52 ring gauge, comes out of the Royal Agio factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Brazilian Arapiraca. The binder is Dominican Olor. Filler is Dominican Olor and Piloto Ligero and Brazilian Mata Fina. Blended by Francisco Batista. Price point is $5.50. And the cigar was released in August of 2018. So with all that out of the way, Seth, what was your smoking experience like?
Yeah, I mean, the first third starts out nicely. It's delivering this sweet spice flavor profile with some soft pepper. There's some earthy qualities present, and it's paired with this leather and woody profile, which was pretty enjoyable. There's some mineral and herbal notes as well. Medium body and strength. It's not overpowering, and you're really getting that Brazilian tobacco flavor with the smoke. Second third of the cigar, it's pretty similar to that of the first. It's showing some wood and sweet spice notes, and then there's some emergent coffee flavors. Has some leather, soft pepper, earth, and it's a nice finish, medium body, strength. Final third is nearly identical to that of the second third, showing some coffee, sweet earth, spices, pepper, leather. It's not showing a lot of transitioning, but it's a solid complexity and just pretty enjoyable flavor profile. Still medium in strength and body. And then from start to finish, the burn was fantastic and the draw was really nice as well. It's just really well made cigar to my liking.
How about you, John?
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. The first third started out with really powdered cocoa, and we've talked about cocoa that has a chalky mouthfeel before, and this started out with a really chalky mouthfeel. And I was worried it was going to impact the flavor performance, but it kind of dropped off, which was nice. Like Seth, I got some cedar and leather kind of on the post-draw mid palate, which was interesting, and it wasn't like heavy flavor, which was good because I'm not a fan of heavy leather. Retrohale had baking spices, sweetness. I mean, for me, the first third really was just cocoa, sweetness, cedar, leather. All very well balanced, not very overpowering. Like Seth's saying, it's medium on the palate. It's nice, and the middle third is absolutely almost a carbon copy of the first third. Just flavors kind of move around in strength a little bit. A little bit of baking spices in there, a little bit of white pepper to kind of make things a little more interesting. But chocolate kind of took over the mid palate about 15 minutes in, and then kind of took over for the baking spices. So enjoyable, and then finished strong, which I can't say about a lot of cigars. Sweetness, cedar, chocolate, just pleasant right down to the nub. And like I said, that's very uncommon. I don't get that a lot in a cigar. Construction burn was amazing. It was pretty much like dead straight the entire time with ash holding up to 2.5 inches. So I don't know how you get much better than that. Did run into a bit of an issue with the draw because, gotta knock this thing somehow. Now it's 2 notches into the resistance spectrum, but obviously didn't seem to impact flavor or burn performance. But I rated the draw as good and the burn performance is amazing. What was your experience like, Loomis?
So for me, it started with what I can only describe as like an aged pine note. Also had a little subtle baking spice to it. About a 1/2 inch in, a little bit of cream joins of profile. Retro's got some mustiness that finishes with a little bit of the aged pine. About an inch in, a little mustiness joins the profile mixed with that aged pine and the cream. And the strength in the first third was it's kind of that mild medium. Second third, continuing on with that aged pine, cream, and the mustiness. A little further in, the pine begins to lose its age, and a little bit of a kind of a green note becomes apparent there. About an inch in, profile's got that slightly green pine, cream, mustiness. Retrohale's got just kind of a musty general wood note to it. Still got that same profile going through as the second third comes to a finish. Strength bumps up to slightly below medium. Then in the final third, just a very light green note to go along with that pine, as there's some char that has joined in. Cream's gone, but the mustiness remains. About a half inch in, char picks up a little bit more. And then about an inch in or so, the cigar starts heating up, brings a little bit of mintiness to the profile. Retro's got a very musty, slightly cream pine note to it. And as it wraps up, chars continue to increase, has a lead over the pine and the mustiness and the mintiness, and the strength has bumped up to medium. In regards to construction, the burn was sharp the entire way, but the cigar did go out on me twice, requiring relights. Ash held on through each third, but I thought the draw was perfect. I had no issues with it at all. So, Seth, your overall thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's I enjoyed the stick. I always there's two ways to look at the cigar. If you look at it from the perspective of like the price point of the cigar and that it's under $6, just like the Connecticut, it's worth it. I mean, it's a great price point for the cigar you're getting. And then overall as a cigar, it's a solid smoke that's just enjoyable flavors. It's not overly complex. You can really get that quality Brazilian tobacco, which Royal Agio always uses in their stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I know I rated the Ecuador higher than the Ecuadorian Connecticut. I actually prefer the Ecuadorian Connecticut more. But it's just a good cigar on a lot of areas. What about you, John?
What was the price point on this bad boy?
$5.50.
Oh man, that is crazy. I agree with Seth. I don't think this is necessarily the most complex cigar, and I've certainly had Brazilian cigars with Brazilian tobacco that are more complex than this. But this is a great performing cigar, and the fact that it's smoked from start to finish consistently well without any dips in the middle or dips in the final third. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, I mean, I like the flavor profile on the first start quite a bit. After that, it kind of became a little bit more average. I would really like to see that profile from the first start kind of continue on a bit more. But I think, this is another good San Pedro offering. Not my favorite. I think I like the Ecuadorian Connecticut a little bit better. But I definitely smoked the cigar again. The price is right. They've released a couple more cigars now in this line, so I'm very eager to see what those are like compared to the two that we've smoked now. But I think with this line, Agio's really put together a nice offering, and it definitely beats out its price point. So it's leading a lot of those cigars that are in this price area, but it could compete with cigars that are in the $7-8 price range. I think no problem. So getting to the scores, start at the top. Seth, you gave it a 7.02. John, you were next at 6.87. I gave it a 5.90. So Seth, 7.02.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a really enjoyable stick. The cost per point is pretty awesome. And the value score is great as well. It's just, I mean, these are like value cigars that are just really good. And it's like you don't see it nowadays. So it's always like crazy just to see something smoke this good. So I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend it to a lot of people, and it's for the price too. I don't think you can really, you can't fuck this up, guys.
Yep. All right, 6.87, John.
Same Z's. I don't think this is going to probably land in my top 15 or so for the year, but in terms of value score, this might be the cigar to beat for the year. I don't know that a lot of cigars at that price point get that score. So, good for them, and need to get my hands on more of these.
Yeah, my 5.9 is dead on. I mean, that's above average flavor profile. So that's some pretty good construction other than those relights that were necessary for the burn. But yeah, I mean, compared to the Ecuadorian Connecticut, I like that a little bit better. But, this is on the offering for a Brazilian wrapped cigar, which there's not a ton of. This does quite well, I think, especially for the price point. So any other final thoughts from you guys on this one?
I know the packaging. I think some people would probably say like the packaging's cheap or looks stupid, but I actually
I
like
dig it.
I like
like
the
it a lot,
glazing and the
man.
packaging.
Yeah, I
on it.
like the
the
style.
clean boxes and everything.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Camacho rebrand back in the day, where they've thought the packaging through very well, and their color scheme is very consistent.
Yeah, it's just the font's legible and it's cool. It's sharp, man. I dig it.
Yeah, I
Feels
mean,
Dutch.
I want to say that somebody else had already mentioned this, and if that's correct, I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder, but if you had like a race car that was sponsored like with this like colors and graphic style, like boom, Formula One with this logo and all that stuff on it,
I could see this on a Formula
awesome.
One.
Yeah,
I could see
Absolutely.
this.
it'd be sick. So there you go. All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. We'll also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalettes.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Brazil.